Hey guys, it's Kevin Powell. I lost track of how many interviews I've had today, but man, this is a lot of fun.
100.
At least 100, maybe 200. But I'm here with the almighty Saosin. How you guys doing?
We are the best.
Doing great.
Why don't you guys introduce yourselves, what you guys do in the band?
I'm Chris. I play bass, regrettably.
I'm Bo. I play guitar.
You guys have been around a while. It's 2024. What's going on with Saosin in 2024?
Well, we, to your point, last year we celebrated 1 year. No, I'm sorry. We just celebrated 1 year of 20 years. So last year we celebrated 20 years. And we're in a new version, similar version, but a new version we call 4.0.
Okay.
Which is, we're member fluid. A lot of members in our band, and particularly singers. And we got our second singer back.
Okay.
And that's exciting. So we're writing new music, reliving some of the songs that we wrote almost 20 years ago, 19 years ago actually. Today, 19 years ago, our self-titled record came out.
Okay.
With a big beetle on the front.
That's where a lot of people recognize you guys from, but you guys are at Louder Than Life this year. Did you already play or you're about to play?
Playing at 7 p.m. tonight on Thursday. It'll be the only rain-free set.
Yes, I was going to say, man, the weather that's coming for the weekend.
Good riddance for everybody else that's playing. I only care about Slipknot, Brutus, and our set.
Absolutely. When it comes to playing these older songs, what's it mean to you guys? What's it mean to look out on stage and see these guys still singing these songs back to you?
Well, I'll be brief, and then Bo can talk. But I think for me personally, I think, we had not internally, but like the process to which we wrote the record, recorded the record, supported the record was a little bit tumultuous for us. Meaning, like, we had a lot of label issues. We didn't make any money. We toured a lot. And we didn't necessarily understand that it was a good thing.
Yep.
And then fast forward, we didn't get to play the songs from for almost about 10 years almost to the date. We didn't play any of those songs really. So we kind of just didn't understand that they meant anything to us. And so for us to kind of relearn them and figure out and remember them, it was like a kind of a striking moment, at least for me, where I was like, oh wow, I was part of this thing. I helped write these songs, and they're actually kind of kick ass. So what does Bo have to think?
Man, if that was brief, I'm gonna have a tough time being long. No, I think that it's hard to explain, because I think whenever you create something, there's some, I think as a musician or maybe like an artist or anyone, right? So whatever it is, if you create something, there's something in you that says okay, well, if I'm gonna put this out into the world, you have to believe in it a little bit, right? At the very least, you have to think this doesn't suck, right? So at the time, I felt like, I think these are pretty good, and then obviously the record had a lot of success. The band had success, not as much as, let's say, we were never at Slipknot level type of thing, but pretty successful in what we accomplished. And then after not being able to play those songs for quite a while and kind of almost forgetting about them, because as you if you don't play something, if it's not in your set all the time, you have at least and for me too, I have the memory of a goldfish. Chris can attest. And I forget things.
It's called low RAM.
Very low RAM. I'm on 5 megs. So yeah, forgetting the songs, and then being able to come back and play them and celebrate some of the older songs. It's man, people really dig these songs. And we just did a big headliner in Asia, and looking out at some of the crowd, we were playing You're Not Alone, and it was the first time Phil, our guitarist, had experienced something like that. And we were just looking out at the crowd, and there was the first 2,000 people in the front were just crying. You know what I mean? And we and him were looking at each other, and we were just I think I'm gonna cry. But yes, I mean,
I wasn't there.
But it was super emotional and impactful, and because you get people telling you how much certain songs or albums connect with people and resonate with them, but sometimes you don't necessarily believe it, or you think maybe it's a fluke, or it's a strange thing. But then when you see a whole crowd of people reacting a certain way, then it's a little bit more powerful, I guess.
I think, so I've run into this where you're looking out and people are either songs back at you or they're really loving it. You're like, wait, you like our music that we made? What do you mean? I thought only I liked this.
Yeah.
And then the term deep cuts comes up. People were like, oh man, I love that deep cut you played. It's like, it's not a deep cut to me.
Right. Yeah.
I had fun writing that song.
Right.
But yeah, because you guys aren't playing it every single set, or maybe you'll bring it out for the 20th year or whatever. Yeah, it is a deep cut for those fans. But you mentioned 4.0. What does that mean?
Well, yeah.
Well, I kind of coined the term. For me, it's we have a couple new considerations. Obviously, we've matured as people.
Oh yeah.
And that's a big thing, right? So we've broadened our horizons. We've healed some of the wounds that we've caused on each other and the circumstances caused on us. We also have a new member who, he's not new, he's been in the band for 8 years, nine years now, but he is contributing music. And then, so we call it 4.0 because it's like the pressure of being the band is low. We're just having fun.
Okay, yep.
We're playing better than we've ever played, which I think comes with age, one of the good perks. And we're just invigorated to write new and try new things, and we've had more time to experience it. When we wrote the record, we was just kind of like more or less scrapping together stuff that we thought was awesome and then fighting over like the validity of the awesomeness.
Are we talking about the new one coming up with new music?
No.
Or
When we wrote that original Beatle record,
2006, okay.
I wasn't involved when Bo wrote Translating the Name. I wasn't there, so
Okay.
when I came into the band, I was also a songwriter, and so him and I never butted heads per se, but it was always like, okay, how awesome is your thing versus how awesome is my thing, and who's got the most awesome thing.
Okay.
So now it's more of like a collective of, we know that we're somewhat I'm not trying to be boastful, but we know that we're somewhat capable of making something that we think is actually rad and that might translate to other people as rad. And so I think that to us the 4.0 is more of a security blanket in knowing that like all we got to do is do it and it'll probably be pretty good. I think that's our version of 4.0.
So will fans from self-titled era enjoy this new music?
Oh yeah.
Will people who have never heard of you before enjoy this new music?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So,
but I think it's also a little bit more like we have Phil from As the Lady Dying, who's writing music as well.
Okay.
Right. Also played Nails for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And Phil, as a musician, Phil is way better than we are. Right.
I mean, he's pretty good.
I'm not that good of a guitar player. I write riffs with my mouth. Can't
the
play them.
notes. Yeah.
So now we kind of have this like machine almost where we can be like, hey, here's my dumb idea, and then he can listen to it, play it, so on and so forth, but then enhance it, right? And Bo is like a ritualistic riff player. I call it like a cyclical riff player. Like we find riffs that are fun to continually play.
Okay.
And Bo's really good at that. Whereas Phil is just like, this is how it goes, and then the next time around, this is how it goes, and then the next time around, there's a stop, and then it goes like this too.
He's a machine.
Yeah, and we're actually both of our supercomputers, literally Ataris. Okay, it's like when the Nintendo games started scrambling at the blow in it. Yeah, that's like our brains when a couple of the riffs come up, and we're just like, what, ooh. So that's been exciting for us, just to be able to kind of learn a little bit of a new language.
So old fans are gonna love it.
Yeah.
New fans are gonna love it.
Yeah.
You guys love it, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay, good. 2024 or 2025, where we start hearing some new stuff.
I would, if I could. I don't think by 2024. We got a lot of, it's hard to say.
Too much going on.
It's just hard, it's tricky because we've only really been version 4.0 since we kind of awkwardly did an Asian tour with Cove. Not awkwardly in a bad way, but just like it was a little bit like, hey, do you want to go do this Asian tour? And he was like, sure, what does that mean? What are we doing? Type thing, you know?
Okay.
And it was great. We had a great time. We all get along great, which is the best part. And I think we've just been nurturing the ability to get along.
Yeah.
And so our hope and goal is 2025 is going to be a bunch of new music, hopefully a new record, and support thereof.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get a gauge on do people like new music? Nobody even knows. Who knows?
I love new music.
Me too.
It doesn't matter who it is, as long as it's new. I mean, I like old music too.
What's new music that you've...
Newest Nails album.
Okay.
Love that. New As I Lay Dying album coming out. Really excited for that.
Really exciting.
One of my buddies.
Bo's probably heard it the most.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's heard all the test mixes.
One of my buddy Aaron, he helped with the mixes for that.
Oh, okay.
Aaron Chapperton or something. Anyway, he's really good. What else is coming out this year?
Because what's his name? Chris Clancy mixed it, right?
I know Aaron, he said he mixed. I don't know who mastered it.
Okay.
But
Chris Clancy is Tom Clancy's son. Tom Clancy being not limited to, but one of the most prolific suspense writers.
yeah.
Action suspense writers ever.
Speaking of suspense, I'm waiting for any new Slipknot song. I want to hear Eloy
Yes.
on a song.
Okay, I gotta confess something. I was on the Slipknot self-titled street team in 1999.
Okay.
They sent me cassette tapes to hand out,
Okay.
and it had Surfacing on it and Wait and Bleed. I think it was 2 songs.
Yep.
And I made my own jumpsuits,
Okay.
red. We started with marker and stuff, and then we moved to embroidery. And it was, my jumpsuit was so good that there was a tour. It was Slipknot opened for Machine Head and Seven Dust, 1999. Great tour. One other band opened. I don't remember who it was. I don't think they were that good. Anyways, Slipknot played. Slipknot comes off stage, and people start coming up to me because they think I just got off stage. So then we just walk backstage in our jumpsuits, and we go hang out with Slipknot dudes, and we're just like, yeah, just walk back here because they thought we were in the band. And they were like, that is the coolest thing ever. Signed it. All original members signed my back. I have the jumpsuit.
Do you have pictures around that time?
Yeah.
Of you in that jumpsuit?
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk later. I'm going to need those pictures for this video. It's going to be fun.
Amazing.
So, are you guys up to date with, now this is just a Slipknot fun time, are you guys up to date with the hidden album that they keep saying is going to come out, but they keep pushing it back? It's been like 10 years. Take a look out the window, something like that.
I've heard about it, but we want Eloy.
Yes.
Okay, we want him recorded. We want him. Bless Sepultura, okay?
Yes.
Unfortunately, we want Eloy
Yeah.
on Slipknot. Okay?
Absolutely.
We want him.
If you
I also want Grayson. I would love to see Grayson on a record with Sepultura too.
Oh, yeah?
I would like to see Igor Cavalera on a Sepultura, where that's a different, no offense to any of the beautiful drummers out there, but get your shit together, okay? If Oasis can do it, Max, okay? Igor, Max, and Andreas, I don't know any words in Brazilian, okay? But suck it up. Suck it up.
So we're at an interesting point. I really hope that I have a chance to ask Max this one day, because Sepultura is disbanding. They're retiring, that's it.
Yeah, they're done.
Max could have an opportunity to reconcile everything, get together maybe like one last show, or he could take back the Sepultura name. He could buy that back, or whatever the
hierarchy is.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I think Andreas owns it.
That's the thing. So, if Sepultura comes back, Max, Igor, Andreas, whoever they want on bass, are we in support of this or no?
Okay, so there's a band called the 1975. Band till the 1975.
Yep.
And he said something on a radio show about Oasis. And he basically said, figure it out, okay?
Yep.
Nobody's going to a Cavalera Projects show being like, I don't need a Sepultura show. This is good enough. Nobody's doing that. Okay? Suck it up. Give it a year, whatever. Call it Sepultura. You play Arise. You play KSAD. You play Roots. Figure it out. Call it Sepultura. Everybody will care positively. Nobody will care negatively.
Yep. Absolutely. I don't know how involved you are with the whole Cavalera thing. Cavalera Conspiracy, Soulfly, Nailbomb, this, that. Max just announced his big, I don't think it's a residency, but it's like his show with damn near every band he's been in. Soulfly's headlining, Nailbomb's coming back. I think Cavalera's on there.
Yeah.
One of the bands that he's not fronting, but he plays guitar ins on this. It's every band ever, and I'm sure they're all playing a Sepultura song.
Well, we're just waiting for...
It's what the people want,
We're waiting for the real Roots to come out, and it sound like it should. And the guys that are playing from Cleveland, bless your heart, okay?
Yeah.
You held it together, okay? I saw Sepultura
Okay.
with Max in what would be 1996?
Yeah.
8? 8 or 6.
Between those 2 years, yep.
I don't remember when. Pre-Soulfly. I did see Soulfly too, as well.
I saw them at Incarceration this year.
They were all right.
Yeah.
But I saw them, this was probably Ozfest 99.
Prime time.
Yeah. This is peak.
Yeah.
This is when they did the song with Chino. I'm a new metal at heart. Yeah. I'm a new metal at heart. I wouldn't even categorize it as new metal anymore.
Yeah, but like when it was popping off, you were into new metal. Like the fact that you were on the Slipknot street team, you
That's
I was
pretty
on the
cool.
new metal spectrum for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But like I'm not thinking about Korn.
Korn's
And
the
there
band that got me into 7-string. I gotta give them that.
No, I love the first 2 Korn records. They're great. First 2 Korn records, amazing. Still, to this day.
All right, so welcome back to the New Metal Podcast, where
Yeah.
we just talk about nothing but new metal from the 90s going into what we want in the future. Got the guys in Saosin here. I don't know how we got so far off, but that's okay. We're having fun.
I would say how we got so far on. Because you come out to this, and this fest is pretty new metal.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
It
there's
doesn't.
a lot of modern bands that are on the new metal spectrum.
Now, Sick New World, that was pretty new metal in
Sick
comparison.
New World, yes.
Yeah.
But also, the counter to Sick New World was there's like a lot of weird bands, like Sisters of Mercy, bands like that played, goth bands. But yeah, I know I'm a big new metal guy. But there's just a lot of new metal bands that I'm glad they're not here anymore.
So let's get back to you guys. Individually, top 3 bands and why?
Okay,
Ever.
well, you can go. I know my 3, but you can go. Top 3 bands or top 3 new metal bands?
Top 3 bands. Well, Oasis
Okay,
for one.
they're back.
Yeah, and not just because they're coming back. I've been a pretty outspoken Oasis fan for quite a while, and now it's going to become trendy again. So I'm not super excited about that. Next would be, or maybe these are all tied for first place. Jimmy Eat World.
Okay.
They kind of like were one of my gateway into kind of like more underground emo bands, and then I would say In Flames would be another tied for first. And then if I could, I would say a close 4th place would be pretty much any of like the kind of like, Gothenburg scene death metal bands, like all the Soilworks and all that stuff. So yeah, so pretty, yeah. I mean, if you listen to a lot of the Saosin stuff, you'll definitely hear a lot of old In Flames type stuff.
I was going to say, this is kind of tying into your influences a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, everybody's going to have their own different influences, but
Yeah.
if you guys have your top favorite bands, and what do you know? It kind of crept its way in.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely our influences align with our predispositions of writing. I actually don't listen to a lot of riffy bands. Do I? Deftones is my number 1. How's the battery?
We're good.
Deftones is my number 1.
Which album?
The first 5.
Good.
Yeah. Literally the first 5 records are all good to go. First 6. Sorry.
I like Diamond Eyes.
First 6. I like first 7. Coin Can, still
All of
fine. Ohms, didn't need it.
Yeah.
But that's okay. 7, 1 for 7. Come on. Number 2 favorite band would probably be a band called Mono. They're from Japan.
Okay.
They are a post-rock band, and I have just never not listened to Mono for the last 20 years. On par with Sigur Rós, but Mono more. Mono's more my speed. And then the third one might be tricky for me. I don't really know.
Yes, I was like trying to guess if it was Deftones. I know Slipknot's up there, but I wouldn't put it top 3.
Only the first record.
Yep.
Not Iowa. Just not for me.
I was gonna say Mono, Mogwai, Sky. It was gonna be one of those,
Yeah.
and then maybe like a singer-songwriter, Ryan Adams.
Probably Ryan Adams.
Okay.
Ryan Adams just did a COC song, Corrosion of Conformity.
Ah, there we go. So
I was getting twisted. He just did a cover,
Okay.
and it's amazing. Amazing song.
I also asked that question because maybe you tell me about a band and I'm like, who? And then I look them up later and now I love them. So, sweet.
Big Ryan Adams fan.
Any advice you guys would give to a band just starting out? Whether it be first year, second year, maybe they're trying to no longer be a local band. I ask this question to every band I talk to.
No longer be a local band. Well, our advice is not good because we're not in the new climate. So compassion to all emerging musicians. With that said, don't be afraid of, it's okay to be heavily influenced by music. That doesn't mean you have to rip it off, but every band that you've ever heard has been heavily influenced by other bands. and they use that as a tool to mutate into what becomes their sound, and not necessarily focus on being them so much as what is, like, why do I like them so much, and how do I capture that thing that I like so much. And I think that is what builds the availability of authenticity, and I think authenticity still stands true in the long run for bands. And also just taking the time perhaps to be available for opportunity is paramount, and meeting people.
Yep.
Meeting people and getting to know the bass player from this band or the sound guy from this band, and then all of a sudden you're buddies with them, and he jumps ship and goes to some other band, and he's like, oh, we need an opener. Okay, cool. Who? And it's like, all of a sudden you're going to get on a tour.
People don't realize how quick that can happen too.
Yeah, it's all, honestly, if 90% of the battle of touring with other bands is like, do I want to tour with this band or not? Especially if you're in a position to pick. Like,
Yep.
Are those guys cool? Sure, let's bring them. And that can be the make or break for a lot of bands. Literally just get your foot in the door. And as soon as your foot's in the door, you can begin to walk.
Very well said.
Anything to add, Bob?
How about for you?
Those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like now currently the obvious is advice, right? At least from a younger band, maybe. If a younger person than I might suggest do all the social media stuff, right? I don't personally resonate with that as much, just because we come from a slightly older
Right.
time. But to piggyback off what Chris said, is I would say focus on, and I guess maybe this is coming from like the producer side of me that receives a lot of music. Figure out what it is about your band that makes you unique, rather than what makes you more like another band. You know what I mean? Because I think that, like, think about whenever the times that you've discovered a new band, right? It's always been like, well, they're kind of like this band, except they have this really cool thing that makes them different, right? It's never been a thing where it's like, oh, I like this band because they sound exactly like the other band, you know? So yeah, focus on whatever it is that makes you guys unique, and don't be afraid to lean into that. And it might be, you might be pressured into doing whatever the current fad is at the moment, but I think in the long run, I mean, look at Slipknot, you know what I mean? Here they are, 30 years later or whatever?
25, yeah.
But
Still ripping.
infinitely later, and I'm sure at a certain point they were probably pressured to like remove half the guys and just get a keyboard player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, at some point in their career, but they stuck with it, and I think that that's what makes them cool. You know, they stuck to their beliefs.
Very well said from both of you. Any final words, any final things you want to say to fans?
I would give a personal just thank you to everyone for supporting our band for this long. We didn't think that we would ever be around this long, and the fact that we have the opportunity to still do music is pretty, like, insane to us, you know? And we still, personally, I still enjoy it, like, so much, to almost an embarrassing level where you'll see me on stage cheesing the whole time, and I constantly get made fun of it for it. But it's truly an amazing feeling to still be able to play music and do what you love.
Maggot for life. Maggot for life.
Gentlemen, I do appreciate a little bit of your time. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a great set later. Can't wait to hear the new music. Fan of the old music, but, you know, I'm excited to hear what the new music's going to be. These guys are Saosin. Check them out. They're having a lot of fun. They got new music in the works, so be sure to check them out when that happens. Thanks for checking this out. See you guys next time.